Everyone can contribute because climate change affects all of us equally. We need to foster what we call this grand coalition of actors so that we can operationalize the implementation of the Paris Agreement, which is very, very important for all of us.
And in December we will take stock 2 years after Paris Agreement. Where are we? And most likely we will come to the conclusion we are not on track or not on track yet.
It's not only about parties, it's not only about governments. We all have equal and shared responsibility in the implementation of the Paris Agreement.
So we need to speed up, and the transition to a low-carbon economy will need a lot of money.
We've just had a meeting to think about what our areas of focus would be for COP23. One is resilience, and the second one is finance.
Vulnerable states with very minimal resources, small economies, financing is a critical component. And this is why we all need to take ownership. We all need to share the responsibility.
We are advocating to put a price on carbon. We need hundreds of billions, to be honest, every single year in the world for the next decade or 2 decades to do this whole transition globally. And that will not all be public money. The moment there is a price of carbon, then we anchor doing well for the world into our economic system, and we provide an economic incentive for investors, for companies, to speed up the transition. And therefore we need this price on carbon, because then we mobilize the billions we need from investors and the private sector as an economic incentive to invest in this transition.
Just announced yesterday, Jim Kim from the World Bank and Patricia Espinosa on behalf of the Secretary General announced a new platform called Invest for Climate. And the basic idea here is to combine private sector financing of various sorts, equity investors, debt investors, sovereign wealth funds, with philanthropy finance and development finance of the kind that comes from us, climate finance that comes from the GCF, more effectively to reduce the risks of investments to crowd in this financing. But as you said, if we could move on carbon pricing, that would be a really key piece.
Because if we don't allocate the money, then we can talk here till the cows come home, but we will not make the transition. The money is needed.